There we go. What is going on, lovely people? Happy Cash Flow Friday. And today we will be talking about some of the stuff on AI. I'll share a little bit of what we talked about last week, and then I'm gonna jump into our school community. So always know you can be able to join in. It is, a membership. So when you join in, it'll be charged, and so there'll be a monthly charge for that. But with that, you're just getting access to what I pay for coaching. I pay for people to continue to give me a better understanding of what to focus on when it comes to just this community. Oh man, I got something on my not community, but just in this world. And so we focus on what Cash Flow Friday is. For those of you who don't know, if you're looking at this in a replay, number one is if you like own a business or you're trying to find a way to make money. And I don't even think about side hustle. I just think about like you need to build assets. So if you're somebody that say, hey, I want to build assets and I want to make sure I'm putting my family in a better spot, then Cash Flow Friday for you. So today what we're gonna be talking about is a little bit of AI and what are some of the things that we need to pay attention to. So I'm going to share a little bit of what we'll be hollering at. So one thing in the real estate market is when we understand how money works, investors are the pusher of real estate. And I remember I had got this one book about realtors, and he even talked about real estate agents came from a place where developers needed somebody to be the middleman for the people who were buying the products that they were building, right? And so that's where I always take on the mindset of investors because we've built, we've owned, and when you understand a lot of how those things work, it forces you, I won't say it forces you, but it just gives you a different insight that I would say others don't truly understand. So I'm gonna share a little bit of my screen. Make sure you guys can see that about Cash Flow Friday, and then I'm gonna jump in my community. But so what we're talking about is just the 10-year bonds. Oh, make sure you can see. Yep, 10-year bonds. Make sure I can see you. 10-year bonds and what are opportunities that we need to pay attention to. And my biggest thing is like, don't just read the headlines. And this is important because there are certain patterns that we have to be able to catch on to because if we don't, we won't understand. So we're gonna be talking about the 10-year bond. I'm gonna go over this a little bit, then I'm gonna jump over into my community. So I encourage you guys to be able to join. Yes, it's a cost that goes with it, but it's an investment. I won't even say it's a cost, it's an investment. It's an investment in you, invest in your commitment, and you have other people who've done the same. So what is the 10-year bond and why did the 10-year bond exist? Well, the bond market predicts what the Fed does. Okay. So the bonds is simply put, you have where money needs to be placed. And however much someone is saying, hey, well, we can get this much return on this money. And the treasury bond has always been something that investors look at. And they say, okay, well, if I put my money into this, well, what is the Fed gonna do? And most of the time, the Fed, which is it's its own entity. Shout out to the creature of Jackal's Island, who just talks more about what the Fed is and what it is not, and why what it existed in the first place. So let's just keep it simple. For my community, y'all know who that is. But so when we think about the Feds and when we think about the 10-year Treasury, the market signals is it's a couple patterns, it's a couple behaviors we talk about. So we talk about geopolitics, we talk about global domination, we talk about big events, hurricanes and things of that nature, COVID type of things, natural disasters. I couldn't get that word out, and we think about innovations that are going on in the market. It's a fifth one I'm forgetting right now. But when you think about anything that makes money, adjust, well, right now, what we have a little bit of a geopolitics, and you have some global competition right now where people are trying to cross over, and we're trying to get to some settlement point. And so with that, you naturally see the bond market rising. And then guess what? We have a new Fed chair. So we have a new position. Someone in the chair, they're gonna have to make a decision pretty quick. Are we gonna cut rates, or are we going to have to raise rates? And from what the market is predicting, it's showing that, okay, well, with everything that's going on, um, potentially it's going to rise up. So why is this important for you, and why should you pay attention to this? I think for anybody who understands this is, if you realize, hey, I want to be in a better position for my family, what do I do? That's the simple question that you should be asking. What do I do? It's the first thing is that you have to ask yourself, what do I have control of? And what can I control? And for the things I can't control, how do I do not let there be distraction? And so what you have control over is your finances, how to view the right information, and how to understand where and what to do with it. And so I think my community over here, hold on, I wanted to make sure I'm live on there as well. So, all right, cool. So the reality is this: you have to make a decision for your family. You have to make a decision to say, all right, what should I be paying attention to? Because one of the things that I even told myself at the beginning of this year, like, I have to learn how to be hyper focused, because there's so many things out there that you can go pay attention to. So many different things that you can put your money in. There's so many different things that you can do. But test of time, the only thing that will ever work is something that you're willing to stick with long enough to see it work. And so this is why I'm so big on real estate. I've started rolling in a little bit more about understanding the stock market, because I think it does affect the real estate market, or it has some impact on how real estate moves. And that's why I'm talking about the Fed market. And so I keep it simple. I'm real big on just not only one sharing my journey on where I'm at, but helping you and others to get to a place where you say, okay, this is what I want to do. So just a couple of things that we'll talk about in here is, for one, why does this matter? And go from there. I'll share this last slide. All right, so when you think about why does this matter for investors, so prediction rates are going up, and before they come down, the bond market I think is at 4.6. My phone, 4.6. So it's trending toward 5 now. I think it was like at 4.5 earlier, but this tells us that the Fed will stay higher for longer or be forced to act. So I think what's going to happen is investors understand the moving direction, kind of what I talked about in the last page. Let me go back. So just some historical patterns that we've seen. So when the bonds is 5.2, Fed this meets that, and that's very high. And this is when the recession started, right? This is what people are looking at. I don't think it's going to go up to that point. I think you'll see people start acting, but in 2018, this is when the lowest. So Fed paused hikes after market pressure. Here's the other thing: they don't want it to be too low, because then it's too cheap to be able to give out money. That's why I don't think interest rates will ever be as low as they ever have been. And then you also have the Fed is forced to signal cuts. So in 2023, 2024, you've also seen the bond market get to 5%, then whoa, the Fed. And so now we're getting there. 2015, you've seen them be up there this much. This is when the tariff pause. This is when the political response. So it's always, they're going to be forced to act, right? And so I think I'm going to highlight this more. But one of the things So just talking about, hey, opportunities in the market. This is one way that we've done it. This is one way that I hit on in our community. It's like, hey, like, listen, you can be able to flip a property and make $35,000 in this market and understand how to position yourself. And so we're talking about AI. So one of the companies we're super big on is Irene. And so Nvidia had their earnings this week, and so the reason why this is important, he said something very important, and I am. Let me see if I can. Hold on. And I am going to be live here in a second. So give me 1 second. So I think when Jensen said this, he said the world has a building users, human users, and my sense is that it's going to have billions of agents. So when you think of agents, think about little AI bot agents, and we're so far apart as far as what's going to happen. So I encourage you guys to just continue to educate yourself on what's going on around AI and some of the businesses, and just know that a lot of things that are happening today is going to dictate what's going to happen in the future. So if you understand the patterns, don't just get caught off by the headlines. That's super key. All right. So make sure you join the community. We're going to go a little bit deeper in that. And listen, appreciate you for y'all as always. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Hey, make sure y'all share this. I appreciate y'all love. Share this with somebody that you think it'd be helpful to just help them understand how to continue to change your thinking around money. All right. We'll see y'all in the community.